opportunities to get an AA degree when they're still in high school?
Yes. Both Lake Howell High School and Crooms, students can earn an associate's degree while they are still in high school. We've done the Crooms for several years. Lake Howell's in their second year, I believe. This past year at Crooms graduation, I don't want to make up the number, I think it was over 40. Over 40 of the 100 graduates received their high school diploma, and at the same time, Seminole State gave them an associate degree. Some happy parents there, because what did they save? 2 years of tuition, right? And they come out, and we'll have the same thing will start happening over at Lake Howell. There's a lot of overlap and a lot of opportunity, and it only happens because our curriculum and opportunities are at such a high level. It's recognized as college level work. So these kids are coming out ready to start their junior year at a university. It's amazing.
It's incredible. Dr. Griffin, studies show there's a direct link between having a media specialist on site in a school and better reading engagement. Yet many of our schools do not have media specialists. What is the SCPS doing to remedy this?
Yeah, we do not fund all of our schools to have media specialists. What we do is every school receives staffing. We give them control over their schools, and they decide how they want to staff it. Sadly, many of them have had to move to an assistant or a volunteer in the media center, and because the media centers are different from when we were in school. A lot of the secondary libraries are more about overdrive and kids checking out their books electronically on devices. Not saying I love all that. In elementary school, I think it's rare when we see a media specialist. I think when we see assistants and volunteers most of the time. Teachers can come out. We were at a school recently where there are classroom libraries that brought up to the students, but the media centers aren't like the media centers that you think. I was at Lake Howell's just yesterday. Very few books. It's kind of sad to me. But the students do a lot of this electronically and so on. But we don't mandate a media specialist at every school. We don't have the funds to mandate it.
So here's a big question. Do you have a big teacher shortage?
Good question.
Actually, we don't yet. My peers do. At the beginning of this school year, we had just under 20 openings. Most of them were in ESE. What's happening is some of the great teachers from other counties have decided to come to Seminole County to teach. The well is running dry. I will start to experience, the board and I will start to experience what other counties are experiencing, because the motivation, this generation is not as interested in teaching as the future generation. And probably the bigger problem, when I got into the field, I knew I'd work for 30 years. That's what we do. I have 2 millennials. 5 years, right? 7 years. They're ready to move on. So we have started, we're addressing this. We have started a Grow Your Own teacher program. So we identify students who are interested in teaching in high school. We put them through some specialized coursework with dual enrollment at Seminole State. We scholarship them through Seminole State to get their 2-year degree in teaching. And then we're going to partially scholarship them, hopefully, at UCF. And the board and I will offer the top ones contracts to come back to teach for us in some of the kind of before they graduate. We have to grow our own. We have to do it differently. We're all about, and then once you get the new teachers, how do you retain them? What do you do? What's in place? We are paying more. This year, we got a little over 1% from the state. What percent raises did we give everybody? 3%. I have run out of rocks to look under. But believe me, we are all about getting dollars in people's pockets. It's more expensive to live in Seminole County than ever. And part of teacher retention is money. The other part, when we talk to our young teachers, it's about working conditions also. They want to work at a place. While they leave other places and come here, they like to work here. They like the atmosphere. They like the climate. So we're doing everything that we possibly can. We were just number 2 in Orlando Business Journal, the second healthiest corporation in Central Florida. And that's what we do for our employees. We encourage good health. We encourage running, walking, moving, setting things up to make people healthy. This generation likes that. They like the health aspect, and they like all that work. So teacher retention and teacher recruitment, absolutely issues for all of us. And any connections you have to legislators or anything like that, please pay our teachers. Simple as that. And one little piece, Dee. The board and I have been talking about something called workforce housing. And what I'm concerned about, I'm not talking about housing for homeless, that's a whole other issue. I'm talking about the teacher who comes out of college not being able to afford to live in Seminole County.
Right.
And I talk about policemen and firemen who can't afford to live here. We have an obligation to have affordable housing for our public servants. You don't want your police, fire, and teachers living over the bridge and driving into Seminole County. So I've addressed it with the county commission, mayors and managers, anybody who will listen. But I believe as a county, we need to take care of the people who are working to take care of our children, to educate our children, and to protect us. And workforce housing has to be put on the radar, and I think we are going to see a little bit of movement with some opportunities for all of us.
That's great news. Are we working with the library system for, I can't read this, for, is it free assets for students? Is that what that says?
It's probably Overdrive and all of those.
That's what I'm guessing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, it was here, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just moved from Orange County this past year to Seminole County, and
The library system here in Seminole County is nothing compared to what it was in Orange County, and I know a lot of that has to do with property taxes. But, and I don't know if there's any Seminole County commissioners here, but is that something that we're doing? Because you said 51% of the students free lunch, so I assume they don't have resources to get books and reading and all that. So what are we doing to work together with the library system and help them?
First of all, the library system is not part of Seminole County Public Schools. That's run by our county, the county commission. We have expressed to the county commission that we would like 21st century libraries in Seminole County. It's all about literacy, it's all about opportunity, and I know I've spoken to the county commissioners individually and collectively, and there is agreement on that. So hopefully we'll see some movement to improve and provide opportunities for our students. I go to the Oviedo Library all the time, and it just needs to be bigger and more modern, and it's not like the library that I used to go to as a kid. It's all about literacy, right?
it is.
Yep.
And Dr. Griffin, do we have a continuum of education as far as technology is concerned? So we're teaching younger students about technology?
Yeah, we actually started in middle school. We have a program called iJourney, iConnect programs. And what we're trying to do at a young age, not have kids make choices, but just expose them to different fields, some interest surveys, things. If you ask a group of students to write down every career that they can think of, they come up with about 30. Well, how many careers are there? Thousands and thousands, and a lot of them reinvent and change all the time anyway. So the younger that we can get students thinking about pathways, about careers, we have a department called ePathways. We've trademarked it, Educational Pathways. That's what it's all about, and we're starting at a very young age. We were in an elementary school where the kids were all dressed up in different work outfits. So I would say they're starting in elementary school, but it's formally starting in middle school.
And what are we teaching kindergartners as far as programming is concerned with technology?
All right, this you're not going to believe. I think it was 5 years ago. We started the B-Bots. I think we're in our 5th year. We asked all of our kindergarten teachers about 4 or 5 years ago over the summer to attend robotics training. And at that training, they all learned how to use a B-Bot. They look like little bumblebees, and that's why they're called B-Bots. So all the students in kindergarten know how to use these B-Bots. So I'm going to tell you a little story, the first year of the B-Bots. So everybody was all excited in the county, especially me and the board. So we go out to Midway, I remember this, we go out to Midway Elementary School, and stupid superintendent did practice in advance. So I said, the kindergartners can do it, I can do it. So I sat down, Channel 9 has the camera on me, and I'm sitting with a group of kindergartners, and they show me how to use it, and I said, I'm listening, I can do that. So I push it and code it, and what they do, they're on an alphabet mat, and we had to spell certain words, and this I had to spell the word dog. So I programmed it so it would go to the D, then go to the O, then come back and go to the G. Well, I pushed it, and it went the wrong way. So the little kids on film start laughing at me, and one little kid, you're not going to believe this big says, Mr. Griffin, you used the wrong algorithm. Like kindergartner, and it's on film. It's on film. But what it was, I didn't reset the robot. And so my point is, it's second nature to the students. So all of our students are experiencing some coding, some programming. Were we telling everybody they have to be a computer programmer? No. We tell them they have to code? No. It's about interest, it's about motivation, it's about critical thinking, it's about innovation. And the kids love it. And I even learned how to do it better myself.
I just wanted you to tell them that story. So we've answered the questions that have been sent in so far. Does anybody in the audience have a question they'd like to ask Dr.
Go
Griffin?
ahead.
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Yes, my prior career is HVAC.
Yes.
I came out of the Air Force and I moved to that. There is a critical shortage of all trades. HVAC is I've been following it now for about a year, and it's at a critical point right now because all the other guys are retired, getting out. But also the construction trades for all the construction work we have around here. I mean, if you run into someone that's thinking about being in construction, roads or whatever, they can pick and choose. They can shop like they've never been had to before. I mean, they can go to the highest bidder of who's out there. Now, I know you mentioned it earlier, but what is Seminole County doing in detail for the construction trades, industries, electricians, plumbers, HVAC, and all that? Because I know the tech school I went to, which is Shepherd Air Force Base, now offers an AA degree. Okay.
Great question. Could we not have had him ask that question?
Oh, perfect.
All right. We are very proud to tell you that the board has approved $5 million, and we received $100,000 from the legislature for this piece, and we put $100,000 in from our e-pathways. We are opening a construction trades program at Lyman High School. Bobby Del Russo, Del Air, already started the air conditioning, the HVAC program this year. He can't find workers, so we will have a dedicated construction trades program at Lyman, but then individual programs at other schools. They're great jobs. It's all about work. And everywhere I mention this, a business leader comes forward and says, how can we help expand, support, provide the teachers, and do all things, because they can't find the workers for these. I just want to add, in addition, so prior to the construction trades, we opened a manufacturing program because business demanded it. And we have, that's at Lake Mary High School. I think we got a $500,000 request for that from the legislature, plus the board more than matched it. We don't have enough seats for the interest in manufacturing. The United Manufacturing Association oversees the curriculum, the training of the students. They can leave right out of Lake Mary High School and enter a job now, so it's amazing.
I will send you the email address for the director of the East Central Florida Regional Planning Council. He would love to be hearing about this from you directly, rather than me try to send a video. Thank you.
Tell them to come on out. We'll give them a tour.
And the kids have choices to go to the different schools, so
Okay.
you don't have to be zoned for Lyman, but it's like a lottery type of thing.
Well, this was brought up at the RPC 2-3 months ago, they're biting their nails at the time. They didn't know this.
Right.
Okay.
We have different programs in every school.
Okay.
And the students, like Abby was saying, the students, where we have capacity, we allow students to go. Here's a real good example. Oviedo High School has automotive, Haggerty doesn't. We allow the Haggerty kids to take automotive over at Oviedo. I can give examples all around the country. Great question. Yes.
You mentioned workforce housing.
Yes.
League did some research on that just a couple of months ago, and we did hear about ideas from other states. In California, they're converting some old schools to apartments, or using disused playgrounds for help. What ideas do you have about workforce housing that could be implemented in Seminole County?
The presentation that we gave, the idea that we gave was just to get people who know a lot more about us thinking about it. But since that time, at Mayors and Managers, Orlando Realtors came, and we're really talking about opportunities that when apartments are built, if the cities would consider lowering some of the fees right out the gate, and then seeing if there's some affordable housing vouchers for the workforce folks into those new apartments, it might work. So it's going to be a combination of the county, the city, and then whatever we need to do. They even mentioned about us, and maybe we could do this, providing some early childhood education right at some of the facilities to help some of the folks that are in there. So it's going to be a whole county effort, but very, very important.
Dr. Griffin, we want to thank you so much for being here today. I think all of us have learned a lot about the Seminole County Public Schools. We thank you for your service, and thank you for your dedication to kids.
Well, thank you, everybody.